Welcome back, everybody. I just returned from a local auction where I picked up the tools you see on the tables, and I thought we could take a look at them. Starting off, I bought this lot that had 2 sets of Craftsman wrenches in it. Well, actually, I guess 3 sets if you count the ignition wrenches. These are metric sets. I definitely paid up for these, but the condition is like new. They are made in the USA, and there's a set of both 6 and 12-point wrenches in here. They go from 19 all the way down to 6mm. To be honest, it's very hard to find a set from 6 to 19 and 6-point. Without looking at an old catalog, I believe all they ever sold was about like an 8-piece set, maybe a 10-piece set of the 6-point. But to go from 6 to 19, that's actually a 14-piece set. So that means somebody had to buy the individual wrenches to fill in for the spots that would not have been offered with the sets. So yes, I paid up for these, but hard to find. And then it looks like they have a 10-piece combination ignition wrench set. Moving on, I bought a random lot of screwdrivers, a lot of these mini screwdrivers are Torx head. They call them star head. They're made by Moody. There's 4 of the Moody's in here. These are all the way down to T1. I'm guessing that would be for like using on electronics. So the Moody set goes up to T4, and then the Craftsman set sort of takes over and goes up to T10. There was also just some miscellaneous screwdrivers in there, some no names. Here's another Craftsman. Also included in that lot was a set of these snap-on screwdrivers. I believe they call these the clutch head. You don't see something like that very often, but they're handy to have if you ever run across something like that. I believe I've seen these on carburetors, but I'm not sure what else uses those tips. Moving on, I picked up this 4-piece set of long handle or long shank pick set made by Craftsman. Looks like all the tips are still in pretty good shape, all there. Usually they bust off pretty easy. I won these 4 Craftsman ratchets. I believe these first 2 are considered their low profile. I don't know if they're considered the professional, but they call them low profile. As you can see, the button on the back is almost flush compared to the older style. As you can see, the release button on the back is almost flush compared to their original style. And then the actual thickness of the head is wider on the old style. These are both US made, and then this Craftsman is one of their professional series, they called it, also US made, 1/2 inch as well. And this last ratchet came with as well. I didn't know it at the time, but it is made in China. If it's not stamped USA, it is going to be made in China. I won this Crestalloy 24-inch adjustable. This thing is an absolute beast. It's in very good condition. Paid up for it. Paid up for almost everything. It was a very competitive auction. These are very expensive new. I paid about half of new price. Got this set of deep and shallow impact sockets. As you can see by the anvil side, or the female side, they are basically unused. I don't see any sort of wear marks whatsoever on any of them. They are 3/8 drive, and they are proto professional SAE sockets, 6-point. So nice to have a full set of 3/8 all the way from 1/4 to 1 inch. I won this lot of service wrenches or hydraulic wrenches. I'm not sure what the official name is. These go from 3/4 up to 1 5/8 with no skips. A couple are used. or look used. The other ones all look pretty good shape, like they had very light use, if any. There's pretty much a little bit of everything, and as far as the brands, they're all USA, and they're kind of all over the board with the different companies that made these. Armstrong, Proto, Bonnie, Fairmount. There's a Martin in here, mostly Armstrong, but very nice set of wrenches. I won a couple miscellaneous lots. They went very cheap, so I grabbed them. I wasn't for sure what was in them at the time, but looks like we have some trim removal tools, like door trim removal tools, little pry bars, plastic pry bars. Not 100% sure on this one, but again, it looks like some sort of pry bar removal tool. I saw this in there. I don't know if you can focus on that, but it's elastics. So I guess they use this tool for furniture repair. I guess it holds a piece of wax, and something to do with refinishing or finishing furniture. Never seen anything like it before. This is an Allen Edmonds shoehorn. This is, I believe the branding on it is Manco, which I believe is the original manufacturer of this tool. It's been rebranded by Mac and Proto and a couple other places, but this is an old valve adjusting tool. Got this butcher knife. It's made by Ontario Knife USA, True Edge. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. No one's completely messed up the blade. I believe this is a windshield molding trim remover. And then also had this crank style door handle spring remover. I think this one might be homemade. It looks like some sort of a chain breaker, if I had to guess, but to me it looks homemade. And there's a couple of these spoke tools. One is marked Row, Bellflower, California. The other one I don't see a marking on it, but those are for spoke adjustment. Also have a Park Tools SW7 for spokes. Next up is this 4-in-1 or 4-way plumbing tool. I had to use Google Image, or I should say Google Lens, to identify this. If you've never used Google Lens, it's very helpful for things that you just have no idea what they are, and it immediately picked out what this was. Which makes some sense because also in this same box was a basin wrench. And then there was this stepped seat wrench, I believe they call it. It's for adjusting faucets, I believe. I've had a couple of these in the past and never really knew what they were until I had to look them up one day. Just some random stamped steel wrench. There is there's an old adjustable wrench in here. Completely unknown, maybe homemade looking thing. And then I'm not sure what these three are for. I don't know if they're for plumbing or bicycles or neither. There's no numbers, there's no names. So if anybody out there knows what this set of wrenches is used for, go ahead and throw it in the comments. I don't remember what box this came in, but there's a little Proto crowfoot. And this, I'm thinking, is a bike wrench of some sort. Don't know what it does. And then finally there's two like plastic crowbars, I guess you call them maybe. I'm guessing these are for changing tires. I've bought tire kits before and they've had like little plastic pieces like this in them. So best guess is that that's what they're for. It says Pedro's on them. Could be for something totally different, but my guess is for changing tires on a bike. Won this 4-piece Craftsman Professional hook and pick set. It does look like this one has the very tip busted off, but it could be sharpened and be just fine. I won these Craftsman USA adapters, like 1/2 to 3/4, 1/2 to 3/8, and then some 1/2-inch swivel universals, whatever you want to call them, 1/2-inch extension. And then that same lot had this little Blackhawk 5/64 hex bit driver. Along with those was this custom set of Stanley wrenches. Apparently somebody wanted the open end on every single wrench to be offset. It's just a cheap set of wrenches, so it doesn't really matter. It is metric, so that's nice. I'll keep these around, and maybe one day I'll have a use for something like that, and already have a set of modified wrenches. That same set was this 4-piece set of Craftsman USA Tappet wrenches. Again, these look like they're in basically new condition. They go from 3/8 to 7/8, but it skips 13/16. So it goes from 3/4 to 7/8. That same lot, the gentleman had this set of deep offset Craftsman USA wrenches. Obviously he made these little holders. I'm guessing they all fit well in his toolbox. He probably custom made them for his toolbox. So this is a 4-piece set. Again, it goes from 3/8 to 7/8 with no 13/16. But like the other tools, they're basically in new condition. So thinking somebody bought tools just to have tools with no real purpose, or they use them extremely carefully, because I don't really see any scratches. But which one of us is not buying tools just to have tools? And then finally in that lot, sort of a unique set here, and it's these Imperial, some people might say Imperial Eastman. I don't know if there's a certain year where those two separate or come together, but this is a set. I think they call these tubing wrenches or flare wrenches. So it's to go onto a line, but it actually opens up so you can put it over a line. So you can put it over the line or tubing that you're going to. And I believe when you're using these, they work almost like a ratchet. As you use them, you can kind of slip them back in the opposite direction. I would have to put them on a fastener to actually test out that theory, but I believe that's how they work. And this is an 11-piece set. This is the biggest one here is a 1-inch. The smallest here is a 3/8. So if it's 3/8 to 1 inch, 11 pieces, there should be no skips. And of course, like the other tools, they're like new condition. And last, I won this set of Craftsman long handle, full polished, professional USA made wrenches. This set goes from 1/4 all the way to 1.5. Now, if you know anything about these professional wrenches, they are not cheap on eBay. Well, let me first say that the 1 3/8 and the 1 3/16 are not Craftsman wrenches. So technically there's a couple of skips, but I'm not sure they made those sizes. I'm guessing the person that owned these had to fill those in with different brands, but maybe they did make them. This one just doesn't have them. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.